Hello there, everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at the newly announced companion for Rogue Trader, the Drukhari Marazhai. Drukhari Marazhai, rather. Oh, their names are so close together, I get them a little bit confused. I traditionally know them as the Dark Eldar, however, they don't go by that name anymore in the official lore. Essentially, they're going to be your angrier versions of your sniper character that was announced earlier. They tend to see gladiatorial combat, blood sports, drugs, slavery, all those horrific things as a lovely Tuesday night. So their temperament is a little bit angrier than your typical Eldar. We're going to be specifically focusing on Marazhai. However, what you're seeing here is high-end gameplay around 70 hours or so into the story itself, and it is being played by a developer. They invited me to take a look at it, and what I saw was pretty cool. I'm going to be scrubbing through this footage, pausing occasionally on Marazhai's actions here so you all can get a better idea of how he's playing. I'm stopping here so you can take a look at his character portrait, by the way. That smirk, I think, perfectly encompasses exactly what you're dealing with here when you talk about his character specifically. I'm going to be jumping ahead to some other things I was going to be doing. First up, we're going to be moving into some scarabs here. We are fighting the Necrons on some, seems to be Tomb World, 2 teleportation matrices. We have scarabs, immortals, and warriors on the field. Now, what's his role going to be? Well, he's a fighter assassin, and a very speedy one at that. His role seems to be get in close as possible and stab the hell out of your enemy. Now, that doesn't mean he is complete without ranged weaponry. As you can see here, he does have a couple of pistols that he can use of the dark light variety, kind of the dark version of whatever the Eldar are packing in the game as well. Whereas the other Eldar character, whose name escapes me at the moment, is more of a sniper ranged character. She is a ranger that's far back and blast targets. Marazhai wants to get very, very up close and personal. Let's go ahead and see a little bit more of what he can do here. Where is it? There we go. He is going to be relying on his agility to zip across the battlefield, by the way. He can possibly be built out to be a dodge tank, but I wouldn't recommend it. During this gameplay, you are seeing him dodge quite a bit, or at least from what I saw earlier. But the Eldari in general tend to be somewhat soft, and all it takes is one bad shot from a heavy weapon to bring them down, at least in the tabletop game. So I would just try to avoid getting hit altogether by keeping him out of line of sight. I know being a melee character, he's not really going to be able to hide behind cover. He kind of is relying on that dodge, which is substantial, by the way. But I always get a little bit wigged out when I try to rely on it when one hit can do horrendous damage to you. So keep that in mind. I would say there's probably 2 ways you can build him, by the way. One, low-level trash clearer. When I was watching this gameplay, something I noticed is that he tends to get stronger the more damage he does. A very Drukhari mechanic, by the way. Filled by pain, for example. Something that amps up how much you can do the more things you take out. So if you send him to a bunch of horde enemies where you can get one-hit kills, you should be able to wipe out a bunch quickly. But what I would lean more toward is what his class leans into, the assassin. Someone that can shoot past enemy lines, get right up to the big HQ character's face, be it a cult leader or a Necron lord of some kind, and burn them down. And one of the reasons why I would think using him like that would be the best play is because what you're going to see right here. He is going to murder the hell out of this Necron Immortal, charge up on this warrior here, burn his heroic ability to get all of his AP back, and then commence to wreak hell. Now, what I see myself doing with a character like this is charging the lines, killing the first front-ranked person I see, and then shooting past the rest of them to your HQ unit. Once again, Chaos Cultist, or Cult Leader rather, trying to summon a greater demon, Necron Lord, Hive City Ganger Leader, the Farseer. If you go up against other Eldar, he'd probably really appreciate that, I'm sure, since they don't necessarily see eye to eye on a lot of things. and you take out them or other critical support characters, medics, healers, buffers, etc. And then, with his remaining movement, try to dodge back behind some cover, or get the hell out of everyone's line of sight for the inevitable counterattack. That is how I really want to play him, and he seems tailor-made to that, especially if we lean into his dodging ability to at least be able to survive some of that counterfire coming in. Now, when it comes to the lore, having a Drukhari on your team opens up a lot of possibility. Owlcat Games, makers of Pathfinder and Pathfinder Wrath of Kingmaker and Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, have put in more than just your choose your ending variety of wrapping things up. It's not your Mass Effect pick your red, green, or blue thing. Wrath of the Righteous specifically had multiple ways the game could play out depending on if you went full goody like a gold dragon, or became a lich, a demon, or even the swarm that walks. So there's a lot of ways to break bad in their games, and the developers have hinted that you can do the same here. They weren't keen on giving me too many spoiler details on it, but from what they were suggesting, I wouldn't be surprised if you set up your own fiefdom in the Chronos sector. So in other words, screw the Imperium, we don't care. What we're going to do is set up our own little empire, and you all work for us now. Or specifically, me, playing the Rogue Trader. Now, not every companion is going to be down for that. For example, your Space Wolf Space Marine, your Inquisitorial Interrogator, or your Sister of Battle might take umbrage with breaking away from the God Emperor's light. So you're going to need a few companions to help fight off your former companions. While the Unsanctioned Psyker seems to be a go-to, and you have your second in command that's probably going to be eternally loyal to whatever choice you make, having a Drukhari assassin is certainly going to help even up those odds. That's why I'm kind of excited to see him on here. Beforehand, we were getting a lot of very pro-Imperium, rah-rah, corp god people on here, but I'm a Chaos player, baby. I want to be able to set up my own Imperial fiefdom. By the time the Imperium knows what happened, it's going to be thousands of years the way communication works in this universe. I'll be long dead. I don't care. So I'm going to have to remove those companions later on, and having an assassin seems to be perfect for that. Once again, that last bit there of the lore is just speculation on my end. But I don't think I'm necessarily wrong. They are really hinting that you can do some horrendous shit in this game. And it is the 40k universe. They call it Grimdark for a reason, and I am very excited to see where that potentially go. So that kind of wraps up my quick little overview of the new companion that was just announced, Marazhai, the Drukhari Fighter Assassin. Looking forward to seeing more of what Owlcat do with this game when it eventually launches. I would guess sometime late next year, maybe early 2025, so we do have some time to go. And keep in mind, this is in beta. Everything that you're seeing here could radically change before the game actually comes out. I want to thank Owlcat for inviting me down to take a look at this and providing this B-roll footage so we can all take a look at what's going on here. And until next time, I'm Steven Brown from Game Points, and I'm out of here.
Oblivion approaches.